Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. Yeah, today I'm going to talk, and all your comments, I like the comments. Yeah, hit me with your rhythm stick, I don't mind. Anyway, today we're going to talk about an interesting guy. We're talking about joining the prison service in 1975. Well, I joined on the 1st of January 1975. But we're talking today about a guy who's just retired from the prison service after 50 years service. 50 years service as a prison officer. Seriously. His name's Stephen Lay, and he is currently 71 years of age. He joined when he was 21. That was back in the days in 75 when you had to be at least 21 years of age. You couldn't be 18 in high heels and lipstick back in those days, no. That was reserved for the weekends when you weren't working. Oh, Stephen Lay, yeah. Well, apparently there's a big article about him. He's just retired from the prison service. He's currently in West London, I believe, and as I say, he joined in 1975. And he started off at HMP Ashford, then he was at Feltham, which was a Borstal, I believe, at the time, or certainly a young offenders unit. Then he went on to Whitmore and to High Down. So, 50 years in the prison service. There's an interview with him. He said that the prison service has radically changed since he joined in 75 when there was no internal sanitation in the prisons, and the inmates used buckets and pots full of their excrement and human waste and carried them to sluices on the landings. And he said his first job was supervising the toilets. 50 years as a bog watcher. Well, in the 50 years that have transpired since I joined in 1975, I would like to think I've done quite a bit more than watching people go for a piss. Like going around the world, writing numerous books. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, I just think that there's a lot to do in this life, and that you should get out there and do it, when you've got the chance. Maybe he didn't have the chance, I don't know, but anyway, to celebrate his 50 years service, his 21-year-old son has now joined the modern prison service. Yeah, I remember applying for the modern prison service back in 1974 when I applied, and when I got to Strangeways, they were sat around like a group of Dickensian inmates in the Fleet stitching mailbags. About 300 inmates at the time. And there's a guy who comes on here and comments, I don't know if you're out there, Barry Smith was the officer in charge of the mailbag shop at Strangeways. And they had these great big, seemed quite big to me, seats, wooden seats. The staff, the discipline staff sat on these wooden seats and oversaw all the inmates to keep good order and discipline. I did quite a few shifts in the mailbag shop. It was exciting work, watching grown men sat on wooden stools, stitching mailbags with needles and thread. Yeah, like a trip back to the age of Charles Dickens. But that's where you started, and what have they got now? Well, I'll tell you what they've got now. 23 hours a day banged up in the cells because of staff shortages. Now, somebody posted me a link to a video from the 1950s, 1957 actually, which showed Strangeways in 1957. And what were they talking about then? Staff shortages, yep. How come they can't recruit people to the prison service? I mean, if they got people like Stephen Lay, who did 50 straight years, they've cracked it, haven't they? Undoubtedly, Mr. Stephen Lay would be a very nice, decent man. Sounds it from what he's saying. He tried to help people. And you can do that. But 50 years and seeing them come in and out and go back and come in and go out and come back. Recidivism in the 1970s was around about 80%. So people who were sent to prison as a deterrent, well, it didn't work, did it? And today I think recidivism is around about 60%. So they've made some progress. But they're still not making a great deal of progress if they're in the cells for 23 hours a day. Disgraceful. Anyway, so that's today's short little rant about a guy who's celebrating 50 years of service. He'll come out with a reasonable pension there, because he would have been on the original pension scheme, the same that I was on, where you ended up with the 40/80th of your pay. So if you're earning, I don't know, let's say today, if you're earning 30,000 a year after all that service, which he probably was, he'd come out with a pension of about 15,000 a year. Good luck to the lad. He deserves it after 50 years. But the shock to the system. When I was at Strangeways, and I did some work for the deputy leader of the Labour Party, who was asking me to investigate the National Front. I said, sure, I'll do it. I said, I'd like you to ask a question in Parliament for me about what is the average length of time that a prison officer spends in retirement after the full 30 years service. Because 30 years is it, you know. You can do more, but you don't incur any, you don't gain any momentum there on your pension. It's 40/80th is the top whack. And the answer was the average length of time that a prison officer is retired and drawing the pension was, and it surprised me somewhat, 6 months. And the Member of Parliament, the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party in 1977 was Eric Heffer. Have a look it up. Google Eric Heffer and you'll see that. He was a really strong left-wing MP. And I know that he was being watched by MI5 because they were watching me as well. I didn't manage to do 50 years in the prison service, but I had other things to do as well, like writing 17 books, touring America, toured the world actually. But anyway, you've got things to do in this life, and what Stephen Lay did was work in the prison service. So let us all join together and salute Stephen Lay for 50 years honourable service. Tales from the Jails, the Song Dinger's Dung. And I'm now, unless you're feeling very brave, you'll disappear. But if you're feeling brave, here we go. This is a song that was originally sung, and I heard it by Frankie Lane. I knew Frankie Lane. That was another thing I did. Personal bodyguard. Yeah. Frankie Lane. What a real gentleman he was. He never turned away from any of the people who wanted his autograph. He stayed till the last one had done it. I've got his autograph on the record. He gave me a record of his. Yeah, it's got High Noon on it. And it's also got this song on it, which I am now. Forgive me, Frankie boy. I'm going to crucify this for you. That lucky old son. And I'm singing this song because if you've done 50 years in the jails, you might have just felt a little bit like this. This is That Lucky Old Son. Up in the morning, out on the job, work like the devil for my pay, but that lucky old son got nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Show me that river, take me across, wash all my troubles away, like that lucky old son. Give me nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Up in the morning, out on the job, work like the devil for my pay. But that lucky old sun, it's got nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Fuss with my woman, toil for my kids, sweat till I'm wrinkled and gray, while that lucky old sun, it's got nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Good Lord above, can't you know I'm pining? Tears all in my eyes. Send down that cloud with a silver lining. Lift me to paradise. Show me that river. Take me across and wash all my troubles away. Like that lucky old sun, give me nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. There you go, that lucky old sun. This is John G. Sutton, Tales from the Jails. Do please comment, like and subscribe, and don't forget to buy my book, folks.